Hey, 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 it's Ruth Marquise, your realtor in Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Delaware. Welcome to Ruth and Real Estate Market Update. So today's topics include we're going to talk about first time home buyer grants. I cover Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, obviously. We sometimes okay. Sorry, side note. Y'all know I do side notes. Side note. Like people from Philly, we swear that Philly's a state. And when people from out of town, out of the country, like, where you from? Philly. And then you forget that you're from Pennsylvania. I'm like, that long behind name. We don't. I mean, if you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay, talk about put I don't remember in there. Okay. So we forget Pennsylvanians do not claim, Philadelphians don't claim Pennsylvania as much as New York claims New York. I'm just saying, okay? Anyway, we think Philly's a state all on its own, but it's not. It's a city. So we are going to talk about grants today, what controls the interest rate, different types of real estate clients. So tune in. It's going to be a good show. Stay tuned, stick around, and stay to the end. Okay. So hit that like button if you see this. Support our broadcast. Whenever you see them, don't forget 4 p.m. Y'all know, give or take, 4 p.m. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Today we're doing a real estate show. This may change, schedule may change, but for now, Tuesdays real estate show, Wednesdays money show, Thursdays relationship. But Ruth and relationships. All right. So I'm excited about all of them today. So here we go. So the overall market, okay? So all we have been talking about is how, like we all know that the market's going to slow down from how crazy it has been in recent history. And when I talk about 100,000 over asking, I remember telling one of my clients that, and I'm gonna get to that. The duplexes. Okay, we'll talk about that later. I'm gonna tell you how. If you stick around, I'm gonna tell you how much a duplex is going in the Northeast. You're not going to believe me, but you're gonna believe me because I told you go back 2017, 2018. I'm like, one day this place gonna be like New York. Y'all thought I was lying. Y'all thought I was lying, but okay. So we're gonna talk about how if the market is going to be stabilizing. But see, the problem with real estate is that we keep thinking it's going to go way down. Like it's not going to go way down. It's going to stop being crazy because if everybody needs a place, people are going to get tired of rents going out of control. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Like when I get my little zone, I get this little Louisiana baby accent. So don't mind that. But think about it, okay? Think about it. If I'm paying 15, 16, 17, 1800 dollars of rent and I used to pay $900, right? I'm gonna be like, you know what? I think it's about time for me to call Ruth, right? Text me, calendly me, right? Get on my calendar, right? To get your 15-minute consultation. Because you about tired of paying rent and nothing's getting fixed. You about tired of them telling you how much you're gonna pay and what time you're gonna pay, when's the late payment and all that. You get tired of all that, right? You get a little peace of mind when you own a home, right? So if that is how the rental market is, okay, it used to be very cheap. Okay, very when I was like really starting, people were like, no more than 1,000, Rue. No more. And now I train myself. Don't be laughing, girl, when they ask you for $700 a rent. They're like, girl, they don't even say it no more. They used to say, I can't go no more than 850, Rue. I be like, girl, bye. Girl, bye. What? What? So now it used to be like, oh my gosh, like renting and buying a home is cheaper than renting, stuff like that. And we was like, really? Now it's like because rent's so high, buying a home and that payment is going to be, I don't know, just be knocking at it. All right. So now, so we're going to talk about what controls the interest rate. Okay, what controls the interest rate, and then we're going to head into grants. Okay. So what controls the interest rate? I'm going to show you guys a video. Now, I am like that way, this way for that way for that way for that. And let me tell you something. In real estate, you cannot be an expert in everything. Let a residential person see a commercial person, see a luxury person, see uh, uh what else we got? Right. See, somebody that specializes in seniors. Like it's so many different things. A mortgage person sees a appraiser. It's all these different worlds in real estate and all a home inspector. Like y'all can nobody try to step their foot in that area because you'll be lost. Okay. So much to know, right? So when it comes to real estate, when it comes to certain things, I'm going to be like, this way, that way, this way. I'm going to direct you to the people that know even more about it than me. Like if you watch Oprah, she would never know expert or nothing. She got her money though. She Oprah got her money watching. She talked to enough of y'all people that know what they talking about. She put her money in some stuff, right? So Oprah sit there and direct you to the expert. I'm gonna direct you guys to the expert. So let's start talking about what controls the interest rate. Because if you pay attention, hey guys, if you're on here, say hi. If you are interest rate watching, I had this conversation with a buyer, and I was just letting her know, like, I understand what they're telling you. They were telling her, she was getting a grant, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit. So hold on. And they were telling her these beautiful ratios. Oh my gosh, your rental payment should not be 25% of your income, or you pushing it, things like that. It's so beautiful. But if you listen to them and the price range they give you, they're gonna put you right in the hood. And that grandparents, they're not gonna be with the shotgun. They're not gonna be there. Okay. I need you to get into the neighborhoods that you feel safe into, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. I need you and your babies to be safe first. Not to say is, but to say, okay. So you want to be in a good part of town. You want to make sure you qualify for a good amount, and then you got to figure it out, after you buy a home. But don't overextend yourself. But don't be like, I'm only gonna pay 700. Baby, you once I show you what 700 get you, you be like, baby, I'll just rent forever, right? So, um, with that being said, what was I at? All right, so the grants. Okay. So these they're ratios that they tell you that you're supposed to have, but the lender's going to qualify you for. They're going to push those ratios as far as possible as possible without getting in trouble. So your rent payment could be like 40%. It sounds good in a neat little box, but in reality, people do it all the time and they just figure it out. All right. So let's talk about what controls the interest rate. Oh, so that's where I was going with it. So I was like, well, that sounds really good, and you can shop for rates, and you should do all that, but make sure you have a pile of money. Like people, if you notice, the people that shop for rates, they have an excellent credit scores. They're amazing with their money, and it's like the people that can afford to. They're the ones that got all these strict, like, well, but then they also make more money. So it's like if you're just getting in the game, if you're making average income and you need a grant, like you cannot be like, okay, they told me this and they told me that. Like you have to do what makes sense for you, because the same advice given to a person that doesn't have a lot of funds, right? They were telling her not to take money out of her retirement account, all of that. I'm like, but if you're broke the next day, like that's gonna be a problem. It's not. And then it's like, so you got to do what's good for you. So that I'm always going to caution my buyers, and that's why you have to have a real estate expert that you can trust to guide. Those are huge decisions. Take money out your retirement or not. Listen to somebody that has a job, and well, no knock to a job, but at the same time, your paper told you what's comfortable, but your paper also did not tell you that you're going to have to you're going to have a gate on your front porch. You know what I'm saying? If you go by these numbers. So that's why it's very important that we do know the information. And then what I suggested to her was the best thing you can do, since your income is average, is to increase your income. That's the best way to make the budget work. Instead of trying to stretch. And yes, I told her, cut the food out. Cut the food out. She was a Haitian girl. So I was like, ma'am, you're going to be cooking rice and beans and telling them kids, because kids nowadays like, ma'am, I'm not eating that. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Right? So the way we save money is through our food and all of that. So it was good information. So that is the benefit of going to a housing counselor and getting a grant, which I'm getting ahead of myself, because we're supposed to be talking about the interest rate. But I'm just so excited today about real estate. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for y'all. All right, so what controls the interest rate? I want to show y'all a quick video. Me, Kevin, if you're not subscribed, you need to learn and watch him because man, this man hooked me up in the pandemic. I didn't know nothing. I was every day. Was it just me? My job was to find money from the government. If that was you, just say me too in the comments. If that was you, like I was like, where that PPP? Where that? Because there was nothing else to do. I was like, I was listening to them joints all day. So he really has a lot of good information, young guy who is a real estate investor, real estate agent, and I love him because he's done all the jobs. He got his he got all these licenses. So he's speaking from experience and a lot of knowledge. So I respect people like that. And I want you to see this video of what actually controls the interest rate, what you can be watching, right? Just like people watch stocks and what companies are doing to predict where the stock is going. This is what helps you determine like what's going to happen with these interest rates. Okay. So let's see what we're doing. It says percent. Is that it? There we go. They change all of. Okay, here we go. Come on. Oh, y'all can hear that. My bad, y'all. And the laptop's giving up.
Of what's happening with COVID trends, and instead just lets us know what is the direction that real estate is going in nationally. Now, we know that a lot of real estate is based on what happens with interest rates. And what's really neat is you can see that on this particular chart right here, you can see real estate prices for 2022. While they do
Wait, I want to mention something real quick. He said the reversal of COVID trends, which is very important. I had some people who wanted to buy from New York, and their job was telling them, we were waiting for them in the deal because their job was telling them that they had to come back to work. So, yes, people that were working from home and working remotely, some companies are keeping that, but other companies are saying you got to come back to work or it just all depends. So all of the stuff that you saw going on is now switching back. So it depends on the company.
As we saw in 2021 and 2019, around the summer months, we have seen a little bit more of a decline here in real estate prices in 2022 so far.
So we're talking real estate prices
to about 367, 366 here, right around the lows. That works out to about a 6% decline in national real estate prices. Now, what's actually really neat about this, though, is that we see this plateau in home prices falling here at the beginning of August. And what's neat is when we look at
the beginning of August, facts. I'm just verifying what he's saying. So you would start to before I was getting phone calls. Hey, how'd you like the property? None of that. Like for when the market was booming, I mean booming. You don't hear none of that. Like people, you were just like, hey, did you get my offer? Now the listing agent is calling you because they don't have enough showings. They don't have enough activity to get the offers. That I call them, they say no offer. My offer changes. That's how that goes. I call you, I call you, you have no offers. My offer changes. Okay, for the bet, whatever's the benefit was going to benefit my client. So now it's in the ball is in the buyer's hands. That's why I want to give you guys the information so that you know, like you cannot go by interest rates. When interest rates are going to change again, it's all based off what the Fed wants to do. They're going to change again. And once it goes in your favor, then you refinance your house. Keep your credit good. Call us. Keep your credit up and refinance your house when that happens. So you can't be like, oh, I'm locked in. You know, you locked in when it's good and don't change it. But if it's high, then you can, go back down. But, there's people, I remember people buying homes for like past before my experience, but 9%. So 6% in the grand scheme of things is not as high. Yes, it was 2%, but I mean, that was a year ago. About a year ago. That's a big jump, right? I know. But still, when you look at where you are today, you also have to look at the future. If the future is going to keep going higher, now you're in the low of the high. If that makes sense. So if you're going by that, make sure you got the right
mortgage rates. We actually have this plateau of mortgage rates right around the beginning of August. So look at that. Right as mortgage rates plateaued, or around the time that mortgage rates started coming down, since it generally takes about 30 to 45
so when rates
come
down,
as we saw mortgage rates peak in June and then start trending down, real estate prices actually plateaued and they flattened, which is really, really neat because it shows that.
So basically, the mortgage rates going down or plateauing make real estate plateau. So rates are controlling what's going on in the market. But now we're going to find out what's the future. We're trying to go and get ahead of it, not being behind. When you're selling a house, for my sellers, when you're selling a house, if you overprice your home and then you have to catch up to the market, you're going to end up getting less than what you had before, than what you could have had, because they're not going to respect how many days it was on the market. They saw the price increase. They're looking at you like you have no clue what's going on. Hey, Henry says these people are selling houses not fixed, not painted, nothing new, but the price is high and people are outbidding like crazy. I asked for a house 6,000 over asking and lost to 50,000 over asking with no inspection done, and I couldn't compete with that. That was like 50,000 over asking. The only next best thing better than that is cash, right? You can't beat that one. Some of them you can't beat. I hope it all goes down. The market is terrible. The question is, what if it never goes back down to where you want it to go, right? So right now it's starting to cool off. It's starting to cool off. You have to see the opportunity, the new opportunity, right? It's like, okay, so now they're making moves to help cool it down. If you don't jump in when it's cooling down and something else happens and it spikes back up, that's the issue. That's the issue. But you don't want to tell people, do this, do that. They got to figure it out on their own with their experts. That makes sense. Okay. But to say, like, oh, real estate's going back down to $50,000 or $5,000 or back to when row houses was a good cool 140 in the Northeast. Oh my gosh, those were the days. I was looking at my sales a couple years ago, 5 years ago. You could have bought a row house for 140, 170. What? That would have been amazing, row house. Now, stay tuned to the show. You're buying over 100,000 more, right? All right. Let's keep going. But you got to get home. I mean, what are you going to do? You got to make hard decisions. But now if you, my thing is this, if you just like give up and you throw your hands up to the real estate market and it gets worse, you're going to be like, why didn't I get in? Why didn't I get myself together? Why didn't I watch Ruth in the Bag? Yeah. I got to stop. Why didn't I get my money together? Why didn't I get my budget together? Why wasn't I prepared financially to make this move so it can secure generational wealth for my family in the future? And I can make moves with it, because I had to tell one of my investors, I said, look, you got to once you get in, then you can start making decisions on how much of this equity you want to take out. Like you can make decisions like that. So one guy was saying how you make your own credit, basically by owning property. If nobody wants to give you money, you make your own credit by owning your property, having equity in your property, and taking money out. How else you gonna just come up with $50,000? So you mean to tell me you come to Ruth with $10,000 to $15,000, buy a property, then turn around and have $50,000 in equity in the future, and then I could take that and start investing with it? Yes, I'm telling you that. Now I'm not saying, depending on what happens is y'all want to go, just like you said, nobody's painting anything, nobody's fixing anything. You got to buy the one that's not fancy. You got to buy the one that's not flipped. You got to buy the one that's not renovated to get the equity. So you choose the cute stuff and pay the high price. You pay retail for it, or you choose less than below market value. And now that they're bringing the prices down, and on top of that, I get a fixer upper. Y'all don't believe in fixer uppers this generation. I'm done. It's okay. I got a fixer upper back in, what was it, 2004? We said 2004. In 2004, we was doing fixer uppers. But now y'all just want everything just already done. But that's how you get the equity in there. He says rent is just as bad and high as a mortgage. I just said that, Henry. I just was like, we used to say that it was cheaper to get a mortgage, right? Cheaper to get a mortgage than the rent. And then for a minute it was true. And then boom, if mortgages are going high because of the interest rate, and it's like, I don't know. I almost want to blame the real estate agent because we should have pushed it and be like, you need to buy now. You better buy now. You don't know what the future's gonna hold. And now when we're saying it now, it's like everybody reacting, and it's like it's a wake-up call, right? He says in the Northeast, rent is starting at 1,200 to 1,600, and that's for an up for many bedrooms. Renters are taking, you mean landlords are taking advantage, and it's sad. But that's the thing. It's like, is it their fault or is it the renter's fault, right? Because if you don't own, you don't control. You can't control how much they charge. It's their property, right? So that's why you got to be an owner, because now you can fix it. If you want to say, you know what, I don't want to pay 1,200. I want to stay at 1,100. You have that right when you own it, but when you don't own it, you don't have that right. And that's 12 to 1,600 today. Imagine a year from now. That when you say they're running and taking advantage, they are running with it. Okay, they're like, what can I do? They can't wait till you leave so they can fix it up and double the price in rent. That's what they're doing right now. So and that's why you're securing your future by saying, you know what, at this interest rate, at least I know today what it is, right? I know what it is today. I may not know what it's going to be next year, but if I bought a house today, you know what you're paying a year from now. But if you're renting, you have no idea what your landlord is going to do. You don't know if he's trying to kick you out. You don't know anything. I have a landlord now trying to get tenants out so he can sell the home. And they want, please, 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 can we have more time? And you don't want to be in that position. If you're renting a home, you're all vulnerable to that. See, because I wasn't being strong enough with y'all. So I'm gonna be strong and I'm gonna like, look, and I got the I got the rate to back me up. I got the prices to back me up, okay? But you can do whatever you want to do, you're grown. I'm moving on. Let's move on.
Okay, maybe. We only see about a 6% decline in real estate prices nationwide when rates are around 5%. Now, the problem with that is rates have recently moved to about an average of 6.7%. That is, of course, not yet reflected in this chart here in prices because it takes, again, 30 to 45 days for these deals to close.
Right.
But where you can actually see that sort of pain of these higher yields or higher rates being priced into the market is right here. You click on the little price drops category here. And look at this, folks. If you just look at 2022, which is the black line here, you can see that property listings and price drops were highest right around the first week of July, which is right when sort of interest rates were at peak and were starting to come down. That's when interest rates were at their highest levels in the summer, and that's when price drops were at the highest level. Then we had sort of this bottoming.
So basically, you see these price drops because buyers are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I can't afford that house now. Wait a minute. So you're telling me last week I could afford it, got raised the rates, and now I can't afford it. So now the sellers are like, wait, what happened to our bidding war? What happened to so many people interested in buying a home? What happened to over $100,000? I said right now, if you can get in, get in. If you buy a home when you can afford it, don't allow all of the forces around to dictate when you buy a home. Buy a home when you're financially prepared. Just go in there and then you could change it as you have. But if you're on the outside, if you're on the bench, it's going to be hard to get in the game that you don't control. That makes sense. And I know it does. Okay. I got to add that to them.
Right. Here, the first week of August, and that's when price drops relaxed. And now look, folks, rates have skyrocketed again. And what are we seeing again? Price drops across the board.
Every time the rates go up, the price drops.
Leading indicator, in my opinion.
Right. Hold on.
Sales prices are likely to fall again. So median sales prices again here plateaued right after interest rates peaked and they started going down. This actually led to a surge in August of new home sales because people thought, oh, look, real estate rates have peaked. Let's get in now before rates go up again. Sure enough, rates went up again within a month. And so that does mean we probably still have enough national momentum now with rates up high again to push real estate down a total of 10 to 15%. Now, there is some good news.
I want y'all to ask me the questions that, hey, what's up? How are you, Louis? So ask me the questions that you want to ask, okay? The question is, what's the question? Basically, do y'all see every time, it's like, so the question is, do you want rates to go up or you want prices to go down? I'm going to ask you again. Do you want rates to go up or do you want prices to go down? Which one's more important? Rates are going up. You said what is happening is both at the same time, right? So the prices are going down and the rates are going up. So you're going to spend more money though when the rates are going up. So really, price really doesn't play a bigger factor than the rate. If that makes sense. Price does not make, because a lot of people like, I'm not buying that house for no such and such. Y'all be looking at the crack house on the block. 240,000. Where, right? But people are buying it. They're just trying to get in and do what they got to do. They might be flipping it. You never know. Okay. So that makes sense, guys? If the rates go up, that's the only way these prices are going down. So you can't curse the rate. That's how you're getting your price to be reduced. And not only is the price being reduced, you have a chance to actually win that offer. Not when the rates are low, it's super competitive, right? Rates are low, it's super competitive, and they're getting all crazy, 50,000 over asking, 100,000 over asking. So let me know, guys, if that makes sense. All right.
Is that the 10-year Treasury yield here has started to potentially peak again. Now, mortgage rates tend to follow the 10-year Treasury yield.
That's it, right? I want you to get mortgage rates tend to follow the Treasury. Hold on.
Started to potentially peak again. Now, mortgage rates tend to follow the 10-year Treasury yield.
The 10-year Treasury yield. Write that down. The 10-year Treasury yield. So, thank you, Ruth, for that nugget. I had somebody say, Ruth, she basically gave me like the tools that I needed to fix my credit. If you just watch the video, you can fix your credit, right? Hey, what's up, Dron? How are you? So, social IG, her social IG. So basically, I'm giving you this. If you pay attention to this 10-year Treasury yield, that's going to let you know where the mortgage rates are going to go, right? And if you pay attention to that, you're going to know when the prices are going to drop. And if you don't see it,
high as 3.9%, almost 4% is what you were making risk-free on Treasury bonds. And when there was an indication that maybe we have officially hit peak on these Treasury yields, we started noticing them come down. Now, the 10-year is only sitting at 3.6%. Now, anything above 2.75 is pretty bad for real estate. And when mortgage rates peaked in the summer, we were sitting around 3.4 as a 10-year Treasury. Now, you can actually see that chart here, that we're still a little bit higher now than where we were in June. See that red dotted line? Shows you we're still a little bit above that peak in the summer. So that does mean we still have a continuation of that pain that we're having this summer. We'd expect prices to continue to fall, but the good news is we've come off the peak with the 10-year Treasury, and maybe that means less damage to the real estate market, especially if this continues to trend down fast. And this is very, very important for me to pay attention to, especially, but also you if you're thinking about buying real estate, because we are starting a company called House Hack.
So I want you to pay attention to the screen. It says CNBC, and this is Fast Money Halftime Report, and you see the yield is right there.
Startup that will invest in real estate, like wedge deals, below market value, fixer-uppers, multifamily, wedge deals, single-family, long-term rental, short-term rental, everything, right? You can go to househack.com because this is not a
All right, guys. So that's where I would say do your homework and understand these factors. If you want to talk about rates and what they're doing and you want to make up crashes, right? It could crash. But if it doesn't, then what? Right? And I feel like because we talked about this, that rent is high. It's never been like this in our part of the world, in our little section. I'm in Philadelphia. I'm also licensed in Delaware and Maryland. The house you can buy, and I'm looking at the records, and the house that somebody bought three years ago for $300,000, high ceiling pool, you now have to buy it for $500,000. So it's affecting all of us. So now prices are up, rent is up. So therefore, those people that are renting have to get in the house so they can get some relief. Make sense? So if you're in the game, if you know someone that needs to buy a home, if you're a homeowner and you know renters, you need to put them on to this information. Share this information with them. If you don't like sharing stuff on your timeline, just send them the link in their, DMs or whatever, secretly support, whatever you want to do. As long as I get the client, what do I care? Thank you very much. Right? So yeah, it's not all about likes, views, and comments. It's about actually putting keys in people's hands. That's what matters to me the most. That's what's always mattered. And thank you guys for that opportunity. All right. So thank you guys for all the referrals that y'all send me. It's a lot of you guys that's been following me for a long time. Send me all your family and friends, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. I sent out my thank you card. So if you're on my list, if you've done business with me, imagine things coming in your mailbox. Imagine. All right. All right. So let's move on to the next topic. We're going to talk about grants. Okay. Next topic is grant. So first, I want to give you the breakdown of, if you're on here, say hi. Don't be shy. Say hi. I like that. Don't be shy. Say hi. All right. First time home buyers, right? First time home buyers, then you have sellers. Okay. Sellers could be a move up buyer. Well, a move up buyer or a move down buyer. So they're still buyers, even though they're sellers. Now, because when you own a house, when you sell that house, you're not gonna go back to, most of the time, you're not gonna go back to renting. You could be if you're a move down buyer, but if you're a move up buyer, it means you have to sell one house, buy another house, right? So move up, down, buyers. Okay. Now, I guess it'll be move up, move up buyers and a move down seller, right? Okay. Or you can move down and buy a smaller house. I'm sorry. So yeah, you can be a move down buyer. So these are all the different terms. Also, real estate investors. We want to touch on these not little, but these categories of people that are tuning in, that everybody's not in the same box. Some people own their home. They don't know what they want to do next. And investing in real estate is maybe their next move, or starting a business, is their next move. But I'm proud of, honestly, I got to talk to some of my clients, because we're going to game plan on what they can do next. They could take some money out of this house and buy the next house because you bought at a good time. Forgive me if you still have to buy, and I'm sorry. But in the years after, then you'll be in the same position. But they got in and they bought. So now they have equity in their home. We got to figure out what we're going to do with that equity. Okay. So real estate investors, I mean, there's other people. There are like people that are owning, like, let's say you are, I want to call them my seniors. Okay. That's a different market. Okay. And then luxury. Seniors are people, okay? They own the most real estate, okay? They own the most real estate. Seniors, people that are about to retire, they have a home and they want to sell their home, or they're getting older in years, or the number one thing that'll take you out. Listen up, baby boomers, they got to take care of the silent generation, okay? Silent generation, they might be in their 70s to 90s right now. Baby boomers in their 40s to 60, 65 or whatever. And baby boomers have to do for their parents now. Baby boomers have to make sure their parents are selling their home. I have a client who has to sell her mother's home. The mom passed away, the husband passed away, and that's what she's doing now. She has her own home, but she has to take care of her mother's estate, if that makes sense. So these are the people that own the real estate, which sometimes the house is taken care of and sometimes the house is not taken care of, which is why you need an investor to come in and maybe fix it up, or and it's hard for them to sell the home but if it's not fixed up. And first time home buyers are buying from the older people, so they're passing it along. All right, so seniors are very, very key uh, as far as sellers. If the seniors are not selling, if they don't feel like they can go somewhere, sometimes seniors have to go from selling their home that's too big for them now, or all the kids are going, all the kids have their own home, and they have to go to a senior's home, or they have to move in with a child. They need to be guided in the proper way. So if you know anybody that is in that, be careful, because you don't want to send them to just anybody. I've seen my one settlement, y'all, when I had, oh my God, we were so mad. My one buyer was about to fight because that lady was abusing that elderly lady. Okay. She really was. And what's so funny is I should have called the board on her. She tried to call the board on me. This lady was like, I tell my senior what to do. She was charging this older lady for everything. I ended up talking to the older lady because they was trying to like cancel settlement and all this other stuff. And my buyers wanted to, I forgot about this story. It's so funny. And I mean, she was almost looking at, she was like financially stealing from this older lady. And I'm just like, how are you? And this like this agent sells homes. And I'm like, oof, right? So be careful with your biggest financial um, transaction. Make sure you have someone that you can trust, that has your best interest, someone that you can depend on, that's always going to do the right thing for you. I had to have a conversation with one of my clients the other day, and I was like, I understand, like she wants to understand everything, she knows a lot, and she's trying to get it, and she thinks I don't know, and I'm like, it's a trust thing. Like, listen, I'm always going to do, we kind of decide, like she was getting ahead of herself, so it was like, look, I'm always going to do what's best for you. And if your friend said no, if your friend said maybe this is not a good idea, I'm like, I'm agreeing with the friend. Like, I'm not worried about a commission. I'm worried about what is the best thing that's for you. What are you going to do and be like happy that you bought? Then you come back and you refer your friends, your cousins, your church members to me, not to say, oh, Ruth sold me a house and I was just so excited. And they've had all types of problems, girl. The foundation was cracking from the front door to the ceiling. No, we're not doing that. So she's like calming down, like, okay, good. I'm glad that you got my back, Ruth. All right. And then we have luxury. Okay. These are, people that sell $1 million properties. They go from, you know, running a business, or they had money or whatever, and now they're buying, their dream home, their dream homes. I know we say we dream home, but everybody's dream home. They're buying those. Okay, so yeah, we have luxury. We have some homes for luxury clients. All right, so those are the clients. Now let's talk about the grant. Okay, I know y'all wanted to hear about the grant. Here we go. Philly First. Philly First is a grant, right? And it's for a first time home buyer. Now, what is a first time home buyer, Ruth? That is a person that has not had a home in their name in 3 years. So if you bought a home and you sold it and you waited 3 years, guess what? You are a first time home buyer. You're welcome. That was free. You're welcome. Right? So um, they're giving you $10,000. Just closed, what was it? A couple weeks ago. Somebody got the $10,000 and, had to bring very little to the table. And those sometimes you need it, and then you might have to, it depends on the house. Like when the house is good, you got to come out a little bit at your a little bit, because sometimes that seller says, Ruth be trying to get it for you. Ruth be, I am known for this. I'm the seller's assist queen. Okay. Thank you, buyers. I am the seller. If you did not know, my friend, if you doubted me, I will get you lots of money. Lots of money. Right? It may not come into your pocket, but I keep it from coming out your pocket. Okay. I keep it from coming out your pocket. So people hear, I need $10,000 to buy a house. What they don't understand is I had to get you the seller's assist first, and then you need $10,000, because it's most so like 17 to 20,000 to buy a home, right? But we're trying to get them to help you out there. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So Philly First is a $10,000 grant. They rolled it out in May. What I do know, right? I looked at the docs, and not too long, but I did look at them, and it popped up as like a second mortgage, y'all. Okay, He said, praise God, save me money. Yes, Henry, you got to hit me up, Henry. I'm going to get you out in the... There's people that be like, Ruth, I've been trying to buy a house for 20 years. As soon as you came around, man, I was in that house so quick. Right? So, yeah, we got to talk. So, saving them, I'm telling you, I'm saving them money every time. I'm like, Linda, let me tell you something. I know they told you that they got 20,000, but this is what we gonna do. We're gonna keep that money in the bank. If you go to the wrong lenders, they're gonna be thinking, oh, she has 20. Let me figure out a way to give you all 20. They don't put it in none of this. It's something you don't know. It's knowledge, right? You don't understand. If you don't know anything about sellers assist, you're gonna be like, oh, the lender told me it was gonna cost me $17,000. I say, all right. But anyway, they can't promise it to you. Only I can do, right? All right. So Philly First is $10,000. And yeah, it was a second mortgage. And 15 years. 15 years they want you to live in the home. 15 years they want you to live in the home. Guys, oops, sorry. Clear my screen. For 15 years, you got to be like, I like Philly. Not I like it. I'm going to live here, right? So it's not for nothing. They don't just give you stuff. You got to find out what the catch is, right? The catch is you got to stay in Philly for 15 years. So if you plan on staying in Philly for 15 years, now I believe if you want to sell your home, then you're paying it back, right? So it's almost like that forgivable loan that the government gave you, the forgivable loan. All right. So the next thing in Delaware, you can get 5,000. And matter of fact, you can stack grants. By the way, you can stack grants. And one of the people that I talked to, they let me know that there's grants for some upfront costs, right? So yeah, you can get grants, but do not be controlled by grants or grant people advice. Do not, because some of it, if you don't go back to your expert and be like, hey, what do I want to do? What's the best move for me? Because they might see a step ahead of you and say, well, I understand they said that was not a good idea. And it sounds good. They said, don't take money out your retirement because X, Y, and Z. I'm like, but if she needed it, she don't want like the money that she has in her bank account, she'll be at zero the next day. So I advise her, I'm like, listen, if you're going to need money, it's your money. This is your one and only shot to take it out your retirement. So for a good reason. So if you need it, you should take it. So as you can see, getting your information from it's not a bad source. It's a good source. But if that person has a bias, right? If they have a bias to what they're selling you, to what they want you to do, then you have to get unbiased information. And that is what your real estate agent is supposed to be. That unbiased expert that is going to lead you down the right path, that's going to give you the information so you can decide. I don't decide for people, but I give them the right information that they need to have a good decision. Okay. Somebody said, well, Ruth, I want you to look at those properties. I say, well, are you okay with seeing something sight unseen? You sure you're not going to blame me? She said, well, I said, exactly. You're going to be picking these out. She said, okay, I'll do it. As long as you know that I'm not responsible for that, right? All right. So Maryland, you can get $5,000 for all of the people that want to move. And that gives me another category, my relocation buyers and sellers. Relocation buyers and sellers. Maryland, $5,000 or 3% of the purchase price. That's what you can get. That's just one program. So you can probably stack them in those, but you got to talk to the people, ask them, hey, if I get this, can I do that? And, they're experts in their program. If it's anything outside of their program, make sure you talk to somebody that knows, okay? I'm not a lawyer. I have to suggest, okay, that's a law issue. I got to send you to a lawyer. If it's a title issue, I got to send you to a title, professional. Whatever it is, we'll direct you to the right one, but I'm never going to proclaim that I know this and that and that, and this is what you should do about your situation, because that's getting legal advice, and I don't do that. Okay. All right, guys. Y'all have any more questions? Sellers, make sure you are getting your house prepared before you sell your home. I'm at the point, like, I'm not even showing it. If you have clothes all over the floor, you're the seller. You're not even the renter. Y'all not going to clean it for pictures. You don't have to worry about me and the buyers that I have going in it. You don't have to worry about us listing, like if I get with my sellers like, no, we're not gonna do this. I come back on a day when it's all decluttered. Okay, so make sure you guys are cleaning out your property, which doesn't even need to be said, but it is being said. Make sure you're leaving it like pictures down, all the extra chachis away, tchotchkes, whatever. Put it in storage, clear everything out. If you're gonna leave anything big furniture, if your furniture is if everybody doesn't say, oh, I love this furniture, get it out the house. Get it out the house right now. Sorry. I was looking at the pictures and I was like, yo, I get mad for the sofa. I'm like, yo, why did they leave that old white leather sofa there? That just messed it up. And my buyers they're not going to pick that house. But you don't want to hurt people's feelings, but they're not going to pick that house. So guys, don't be that uh seller that thinks that, oh, my house is so beautiful and it's going to sell, and that furniture was just for you, baby. It wasn't for everybody. They don't want it, and they might have totally different tastes than you. It's not a knock. It's just reality. If you want money, you could pick money or style, but you can't have both. So what you're doing essentially is going to sell your home for cheaper because you didn't want to move the furniture out. Okay. So that's my advice to sellers, to real estate investors. Oh, y'all are eating up this market. Okay. My investors, I mean, we have investors that's just going in and buying up properties, and they like, as they know it's higher than normal, right? Before, the investors were like, it has to be under X, Y, and Z. But now the blessing in all of this is that everybody understands that prices are up, because when I was telling them, they were not believing me. I had family members like, that's not true. I'm like, go look, go look. You can't buy a house under $80,000 in that area no more. You can't. And they're like, oh, okay. And but now everybody, it's common knowledge that prices are up, but it wasn't a couple years ago. It wasn't. All right. So, oh yeah, the duplex. I say wait till the end, right? So I went to go, look at some duplexes in the Northeast. Honey, baby, you can get one for about. I told somebody, I said I sold one for 279 years ago. So the duplex in the Northeast. The Northeast, they don't get a lot of investors. They used to not be able to get a lot of investors because it was just investors, they wanted to stay under 100,000. You couldn't find nothing for under 100,000 in the Northeast. I had to say it for years and years. They ain't gonna hear me, but now they're listening. So I went back. The duplexes, the nice duplexes, 379 in some areas. Can't They're gonna change by the time you watch this, right? They're gonna change. But 379, and that was 279 before COVID. A matter of fact, COVID was going on and we had to wear masks. We couldn't even get in the property. They was not letting us. What a foolishness. So 2 years later, right? Is it 2 years? 3 years? It was 2019. Okay. 3 years later, $100,000 more. And they thought that the 279 was pushing it. And I was like, you know how when somebody buying something and you just be like, yo, I know this is expensive, but this makes a lot of sense for what you want. It makes a lot of sense. So now her 279 property is now 379. You're welcome. I could have been like, oh no, that's so expensive. Don't buy that. I had to wait. Last story before I go. Wait. I got a lot of stories. So one guy, his brother is a realtor, right? They got a lot of brothers in their family, but they keep trying to find, like, trying to, like, slide at me down, like, when they see me. And they be like, yeah, try to talk real estate with me. I said, bro, your brother's a realtor, right? Cut it out. I know you don't want to use me as a realtor. Cut it out. And they like, oh, you got me. So the brother was like, no, don't buy. It's too high now. Wait till the crack. I'm like, what the hell? Yo, I said, so you don't buy, right? Let's say let's say I'm wrong, right? But you bought, right? I told you to buy and I'm wrong, but you in the house, right? Isn't that better than you not having the house and I'm right? Wait, what, that makes sense. Like, what if I'm like, I told him to buy now. I said buy now. I said, so you gonna so if your brother's wrong, right? And it don't crash, you're not gonna have no house. You're not gonna have no house. But if I'm right, you got into the house. And if I'm wrong about some numbers or whatever, you can refinance it, but you're in. So you want to be out or you want to be in? He's like, yo, I'm about to go put an offer in. Thank you so much. I said, your brother owed me a check, right? So you have to be careful because some of us can be overly cautious and so cautious that we watch the opportunity ride right by us. What? You know how many times I paid thousands of dollars to go to a conference? I paid hundreds of dollars. I paid for this. I paid for that. People are like, that's too expensive for that class. But that one thing, it paid me over and over again. He says, Henry says, thanks for all of the information. It's good to see you back on. Thank you, Henry. I hope I'm here to stay. I hope I'm here to stay. Keep supporting. That is pretty much, if you have any questions or any concerns, right? Let me know. Like any topics and any questions y'all have about real estate, just post it in the comments and we'll talk about it, guys. We'll dissect it. Y'all know I like to go in and like I should have been a surgeon. I'd have been a good surgeon. Like I got to go all the way around it, through it, sideways, right? And so, like I said, watch the 10-year Treasury yield. Okay, I'll be watching. You watch, see what it does, right? With the 10-year Treasury yield, and then watch the mortgage rates, and then watch real estate prices. Right? We're gonna educate ourselves on this stuff. It's about time we know, because when we know, we start taking over stuff. All right. That's what we do. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching Ruth and Real Estate. Ruth and Real Estate Market Update. If you watched to the end, I want you to put the word grants in the comment section. All right. Thank you so much. I hope you guys save money, learn some information. Make sure you share this with a friend. Have a good day. Have a good day. Bye bye. Okay. Have a good night. Have a good day. Bye bye. Okay. Ding ding.